the host for Young and Prolific. This is a program that gives a young youth a voice to actually participate and talk about their views on how they see our culture and to be able to communicate with the first and second generation. This evening, I've got two lovely young ladies, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And first lady in red, you look fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
My name is Idol. You guys might know me from the GN Radio Spice London, and also I've got a new show now, Outspoken Truths. And also I am a lifestyle coach, or a life coach. Brilliant. As well, and on YouTube. And I write, so I have a few things that I'm doing, but yeah. Thank you to be here.
Young lady, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Reese. I'm a university student. I study psychology and sociology. I also talk on Idol's show, Spoken Truths. I'm a guest speaker, and I'm also a trader.
Okay, thank you so much for being here today. I know the weather is terrible out there.
Yeah.
It's like I was still waiting for the summer to long out, but unfortunately, we're not having that today.
Yeah.
So my first question I'm going to ask you is more to do with when you were in schools. Yeah. How was Black History Month presented to you guys?
Oh, okay. I'm actually happy that you touched on that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in school you have this one narrative, which is we were living in a jungle, we got captured, we got put on ships, out here, worked, and then that was it. There's no more to it. And then as a kid hearing that, well, you're age 12, 13, 14, you're thinking, okay, there's nothing really culturally to be proud of. There's no foundation from the school perspective. But then I think I was lucky that I had a history teacher that was very knowledgeable. She was, I think, Irish or something. And she would often tell, like, the white boys, is like, oh, you guys are cussing all these Black and Africans, but you don't know who they are. They are, the way she would places like they are superior than you, and we never understood it at that age because we weren't fully aware yet.
Yeah.
But as you grow up and you do your own research, you realize we come from royalty.
That's interesting because when I was in primary school,
I
didn't know about slavery until like year 7.
Yes.
I just heard about only 2 people I would write about every Black History Month. It was either Oprah or Maya Angelou.
Yes.
That's all I knew, and I know like my mum loved Oprah, so I used to watch her.
Yes.
Those are the only people I knew. I was thinking like, wow, that's it for Black History Month. Like that's everyone in my class always used to write Oprah, nobody else. So I didn't know like great Black people when I was younger. It was just like white people who used to accomplish so many things. It's just like Black people were just like billionaires. The first Black billionaire was Oprah, and that's who I knew, and that's who I wanted to aspire to. But other than that, I only knew like less than 5 people when I was in primary school. And
but I feel that what you're saying is very true, and the reason why I say that is most of us growing up, I think I got most of my knowing who I was as a Black person from the American view. I didn't actually get it from the African side, because I remember sometimes my mom would say, African people, you're supposed to appreciate your heritage, you're supposed to do this.
That's true.
And sometimes I'm thinking, because go on, my dear.
Not so right. The only reason why we would praise Africans was only when it came down to slavery
or sports.
Or sports, but that's mostly still in the American viewpoint. But in African viewpoint, it's like Kunta Kinte.
Yes. Roots.
The Asante Queen that fought. That's all I used to know about.
But we had a Konfanochi.
Who's that?
Konfanochi was one of, I think he was in our history books. Actually, my brain actually goes a bit numb now, but he actually was part of trying to help Black people understand and appreciate who they were. And when you look at our historic aspect of it, we don't seem to appreciate our ancestors.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah. What is your? Yes.
I think it's interesting that you're talking about that, because today on my show, that's what I was talking about, ancestral reverence, where we honor our ancestors, we give offerings, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that are the gateway for us into the spiritual realm. Because most of us just think that this is physical and that's it, and we have to fight, but forget about the other side.
The ones who are protecting us, the ones that we don't see.
Exactly. And then it's like, if you yourself, for example, cannot go to a gym malnourished, or you can't do your work if you're not fed, why would you expect your ancestors that haven't been paid, if you went through the slave trade, to work for you or to protect you, and you don't give them anything?
Which is true. Because what you're saying is, even today, my cousin is being installed in the Kwape Mambo, which is like the royal side of my family. You see? And because of my mom's Christian views, sometimes, as you're talking about us actually nourishing our ancestors spiritually, we see that as a negative, because we're looking at it from sort of like a demonic side when you're talking about it, because they're thinking, oh, this is not Christian-like. But exactly what you're saying is who we are, is our heritage. And when you look at our heritage, it's really depleting very fast. And we are only associated with sports people. We are associated, it's like when you do well, I always used to say that when you're a black person and you're in sports, you are not described as an African person. Oh, you're a black British. But when you commit a crime,
that's
what happens?
You'll be African, a black gangster, something like that, And it's very true, because in like primary school, like, you can only see black people as either a rapper, a player, or a drug dealer. So in a young child's mind, there's nothing to aspire to. Until I got into secondary school and I realized majority of black people created the light. We did so many things on the list, but they didn't teach us that at a young age. They already taught us that when we've already disadvantaged ourselves, we've already knocked ourselves down, which is like we haven't created anything.
Yes, because a light bulb, traffic lights, all that
created
stuff,
black
people. It's a black people are very intelligent, but as you say,
everything.
That's it. Okay, what I'm going to ask is, what do you think hinders us as ethnic minorities in terms of aspiring, and what do you think what do we like to do to become, a success when we're growing up? Because you guys are the youth, and when you're looking at your predecessors, what do you see that pushes you? Like, what are your aspirations? I know sometimes you say you want to be rich, but do you think there's this energy that's been given to you that makes you strive, that you appreciate? Because we're talking about heritage. You see, and what is in you that pushes you to say that I can do this?
I think it's just looking back at the past and saying, this is how far we have come as people, and there's no way that, let's say, whether it's my granddad, my great-granddad, my great-great-granddad, or whoever has done this for me to fail now. That is not an option. That's how I see it. And the fact that we had so many greats before us just goes to show where we've gone and where we're going to go. And I don't know if you're familiar with the book, The Destruction of the Black Civilization by William Chancellor. He talks about, he studied history, he's a historian, so he studied history, went to Africa, all these different parts, and went far back beyond before Christ, and started looking at the dynasty, the Ethiopian dynasty, the Kemetic dynasty, which is Egypt, and the rise and fall of us. And there was a time we were literally ruling everywhere in harmony.
Which is very true.
And our system was working, but then sometimes our downfall I'm halfway through the book right now, but our downfall seems to be we're always too inclusive. We always allow people in before allowing our own in. And then, for example, at that time, iron technology was a highly kept secret, only by the royals and the high priestess. And because it was such a small circle that knew about that technology, when they perished, no one else had that technology. So I think it's us being able to trust ourselves and to see that trust within another person. That is our people.
Reese.
I feel like before we get to that stage, a lot of things, especially for black people, we see failure. We can't get there because it's only white people who are allowed. And there was something like I watched Dr. Umar sometimes. He was like, why do you need white certification.
Yes.
Why can't you do it as a black person? Like a lot of black people just want the approval of white people first, and if you don't get it the first time, you give up. But we need to know you can still get it without a white person saying yes to you. And I feel like in order to, firstly, we need to break that down, and then we can reach up, because we need more black people in high places. We need more black businesses. We need more black banks.
Precisely.
We need, because more time in certain jobs, you only see white people, employers only picking white people. That's why we never get that far, because the people who are recruiting are white people. So we need to get there first to bring our people there.
But you know, when you said what you said, the reason why, you know what, when you said, when we were talking about the technology and stuff, do you know what it reminded me of? Black Panther.
Yeah, it's true. That's why
when you said that, the first thing that, because that was the first movie that depicted how intelligent, how sophisticated, how brilliant, and the beauty of Africa.
Yeah.
Is it? And when you said it, like, because Egypt, all that stuff was encompassed in that. And sometimes it surprises me that as young as you guys are, you seem to appreciate your blackness. And as the grown-ups, we seem to shy away, because your generation is actually sort of like, yes, I'm African, I'm Ghanaian.
I feel that's because like, we've had enough. We're now on social media, we can speak our mind, we can have a platform to educate people, because people only used to see white people talking about their greatness, but now we've got black people around us who is speaking about their greatness and helping us how to reach there.
But just to add on to that, I also feel like it's because we're, I put it in quotes, lost children, because we are the children that weren't born on the motherland. So for us, we had a lot of questions even growing up, and then we didn't get the right answers. So now we're being raised in a culture that's not our own, and somehow and then we're always feeling some kind of inferiority.
It's kind of like you feel as though, it's not I'm putting words in your mouth, but sometimes you feel as though, hang on a sec, I'm being told I am black, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, but yes, I don't feel that.
Yes and no, because that I feel like came after when you start questioning and looking for the history and looking for the answers. Because if you want to be shut off, you can be shut off, and you can be a black British. And then, but nowadays, everyone's like, no, black British, I'm black, I'm African. You don't even put black there, I'm African. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm Ghanaian, I'm Rwandan, I'm Nigerian. I am African.
I also feel like out of all the black people around the world, black British people are the very woke. Like, out of everybody, like,
I think the Americans are woke.
No, they're really not. Like, I feel like they're still in that slavery mentality. A lot of them are not. They are fighting, we see on the news, but black people actually know themselves in Britain. They know where they stand.
It's true.
And that's what I've seen.
And I think the reason why you see that is when we were brought here, even when we were born here, our parents still took us back. So we are able to actually pass that on to you. Is we able to pass that on to you, which I find very, very fascinating, because sometimes when I look as years, when I'm looking about years ago, my nieces and stuff, sometimes when they used to say that, oh, you're African, she goes, no, I'm Caribbean. And I'm like,
that was a thing.
Why was that ever a thing?
Because in school, I don't know how it was in your school, but in our school, being African wasn't cool.
It was cool in my school.
You went to a great school there. Like, it wasn't, because everyone would, even like Ghanaians would mix like, my dad is Trini, and then like the Nigerians would be like, I'm Jamaican, my mom, like, it was a whole palaver.
It was. Okay, one of the questions that I'm going to ask now is, why do you think, we're talking about business ethics, why do you think the Asian counterparts are more successful than like the blacks? Because today we had a discussion about businesses, and we talked about when you go into a black business, when you go into a black shop, even when you pick up something, and you said, oh, this is too expensive, instead of the person to say, oh, you know what, I know it's expensive, but if you shop here, if you get customers to come down, we will sort of like the price might go down. Instead, they'll tell you, oh, if you don't want to, get out. Over to you, sweetie.
Like,
no, please go on.
Before I touch on to like real life experiences, I feel like with the Asian and the black community, black people were seen to idolize MTV. They were seen to idolize rappers. They wouldn't put the work in. And from like a student perspective, Asians are very strict, same as African parents.
Yes.
But with Asians, they couldn't watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
They were 24 hours working every day and night on
is
their
true.
studies. But black people were on MTV. They were looking to aspire to rappers. They were aspiring to riches. That's what
Yes.
they wanted. So they
Yes.
didn't put the work in school.
Just to
Okay.
add into that, but
Yes.
the way why Asians are like that is because in the 80s
Mm-hmm.
they were overpopulated. They didn't have food. They went to ask for help from the World Government Bank, and everyone turned their back to them.
Yes.
So they were like, "All right, we are by ourselves. We're gonna do this." So that's why they tightened up their ship. They did that one child per household. All their kids had to study. That's why
Yeah.
they prioritized male over female. And if you look at China where it is now, you can't be like it's an accident. They knew the whole world turned their backs on them, and they were like, okay, let's
Because
get our
they
house
were
in
a
order.
third world country.
Exactly,
They were.
and they got that
They
house in
still are.
order.
But they're growing up. They're now like a not developed.
They are
developed now.
developing.
Yeah,
But
because they used to be with Africa.
Yeah, but they still are. But the funny thing is, they still see them as developing. Even Africa is still called a developing country. Because I did tourism in my degree, and we first we were third world, and then they upgraded us. All the countries that are not Caucasianly economically endowed as now developing.
But so who's third world now?
There's no third world. It's developing.
But then that's what I'm saying. It's a new term for third world, though.
Which is true.
And at the end of the day, with the Asians or the Chinese, we can take a lesson from that. Get your house in order. Don't
Yeah,
depend on
that's
no
it.
loan. Don't depend on anyone else. They started like this. They're like, okay, they don't want to give us
Okay.
food. We're going to start
I
planting
feel like it's
vegetation.
hard to say that because I don't think certain Asian countries had debt.
No, but I'm talking about Chinese just specifically because
Yes.
obviously that's the example with them
Yeah,
starting.
but it's easy for them to like start because in a continent like Africa, they've got a lot of contracts set in place, so they need to sort that out before they can sort
Yes
themselves out.
and no, because they thought, okay, we've got all these people.
Yes.
They need to work. If you have an empty stomach, you can't work. So they went in, they started making a load of patty of rice. They
Yes.
started making loads of vegetation. They started feeding themselves. Then they started opening factories.
Yes.
And then what they did in the 90s and 2000s, they used to send like the rich ones to Europe to go and take pictures everywhere. But they were
Exactly.
taking pictures of the technology
Exactly.
to go back to China
Or
to
if-
replicate it
I
and
get
to
that,
take.
but
And if
they
you
can't
want to
work
say-
in Africa.
No, but when you say that, yes, what they did was, I remember years ago, my mom used to tell me when they go into the villages to go and dig wells, it was to them to see where there were minerals, so that they could come back and come and take it. And before I go further with this, please, I want everybody to share this video. I want people to watch it. I want people to like my page, because this program is really pertinent to our youth in our community, because we always sit there and we talk about our kids not listening to us, we're not understanding our kids. This is a platform for them to be honest, for you to see the intelligence, to see how great their minds are, because these beautiful ladies, she's talking and I'm thinking I want to get the book she said. But sweetheart, go forward.
Yeah,
Yes.
so obviously with China,
Yes.
they did that because they realized there's power in numbers. We as Africans, we can't say, oh, we can't do that. We have the numbers.
Yes.
We just need
Yeah.
to have the right person at the forefront to lead
Yeah,
us and
and
do
we
it
don't.
properly. Do that properly. But just saying it's not going to happen, I don't think it's the solution. We
That's
need to
it.
definitely put the steps in place
Yeah.
Yes.
and pick up where our forefathers left off.
Which is very true, because before our forefathers, I remember my mom, she used to talk about her grandparents, how strong they used to be in terms of their medicines, their herbal medicines, in terms of their intellect. All of a sudden, it's like you have a product, and then the Western world is telling you, oh, we can bring you something better than yours, when yours is natural.
Exactly.
And we don't appreciate what we have.
Exactly.
Today, we were even talking about our body shapes. And I was saying, I used to be very thin. I used to be 6 downs. I know people are going to say, so what happened to you? Life did. Anyway, and I remember in Africa, no matter how skinny you were, you had a backside. You had a bust. In the Western world, even you had a big lip, because that was how we were created. And I remember sometimes we used to sit back and then they'll turn around and they say, oh, you're black, you're ugly, you got big lips, or you got a fat bum, that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, we were trying to fit the Caucasian, you see. And I realized that even now, we are still having problems, because when we sit back. We don't even like our bodies. Do you understand? We don't. And so we don't appreciate what we're. And I remember in the olden days, we used to love. It's like when I go to Ghana and I look at the billboards, I relate to the women on the boards. I see this plump woman. She's on the billboards. It's like she's eating and she's looking. And when you go to Africa, how do you see it?
It's exactly like you were saying. That's why I love Africa, to be honest. I'm from Rwanda, but even though because I went to Ghana, was it 2-3 years ago?
Yes.
And as soon as like the plane landed, I felt like home.
Yes.
Like it literally felt like home. The atmosphere, the people, everything. And I think it's that feeling. That feeling can't be bought. That's why essentially I recommend for all young people, even like my brother, he's like 21. I always tell him, you need to be taking trips to Africa.
Yes.
Forget Turkey, Mali, Greece, all of this, all of that, to be. Yeah.
No, keep going.
Yeah.
I can't see.
And but in all honesty, taking the kids back to Africa makes the difference.
Yes.
No, 100%.
Okay. So what you're saying is, what you just said now made me feel so touched that you don't come from Ghana. And the moment you went to Ghana, it just felt like home. You see, and sometimes we don't appreciate that in Africa. When you look at Ghana, especially in Ghana, when you get there, I love the spirit. Because I remember sometimes I go into a bank, somebody walks in and they say hello to me, and I'm looking like, who's talking to? I don't know. You see, and there's this sense of love. There is this sense of love that when you go, and as you say, where you come from, it's like you got to Ghana and you just felt at home. And that is Africa.
Because you've got everyone around you that just looks like you.
Yes.
You're not in touch with no beauty standards, European standards. It's just African standards that you can personally relate to. You're not competing with nobody there.
Exactly.
And what you're saying, sometimes I look at, I listen, I look at you guys and the pride that, engulfs me when you guys are talking about Africa, because I don't think our generation even does that. We act as though being African is like a hindrance. It's either they do it too rurally or they do it's like they ignore it totally.
But it's not your fault. It's the way society coming to Europe in general, is the way society has made you think of your country back home. It's not your fault. It's just what you see around you. Because on TV adverts, all you see is Africa begging for water, begging for food.
Kids flies around their mouth and all of that. But what even this is, it's like the narrative is changing from their generation. Their generation was like, Africa, you need to escape it. Whereas our generation is like, go back home. We're building. Look how much we have. First of all, defend your pride, defend your honor, defend who you are, and then build on it. We have so many resources. That's why everyone wants to go to Africa. That's why everyone wants to be building in Africa. That's why you see a lot of people, even like in Rwanda. I remember I went, was it 2017? I went in March, and then 2017 I went back in December. So much has changed during that month, and there were so many Chinese people, like so many, and I was just like, and they're there to live, and and you see how Chinese people are nowadays treating our people in China, not treating pregnant women, not allowing people to come into the restaurants to actually order their food or even to buy stuff in the supermarket. And what I really, really loved was the Guyanese. Guyana.
That's the West Indies. Yeah, Guyana.
No, Guyana. Guinea sent a chartered plane to China and said that all their civilians should come back.
Really?
And they put all the Chinese onto that plane and then drop them there. They're like, we don't want you in our country if you don't want us.
Exactly, because they were beating them up as soon as this coronavirus came in. It didn't make sense because it didn't come from black people in China. It came from your village, literally, which I know there's no black people there.
Okay, somebody has asked a question, yeah? And the question is, what would the youth today do differently, yes, to show a good picture that Africa or African British or African are not what it is now today? What they're trying to ask is, how would you sort of like portray Africa in a positive light?
You should just go there.
No. What would you, the youth, do?
Me personally, what I would do, I would organize trips to Africa, like different trips to different regions in Africa, like twice a year and get people
go
to,
there, let
to
people
go
live
there to have the fun side, but also the cultural side. Like I was saying, when I went to Ghana and I went to Elamina Castle.
Yeah, Elamina Castle.
I was like the energy. You felt the energy of the people that were there, and you cannot explain that to somebody. Somebody literally needs to go there. And you leave there changed. You don't go in the same person. Just the person that walks in is not the person that walk out.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's things like that. And then seeing the greatness that we have built. And I know in Zimbabwe we've got castles. In Mali we've got castles and stuff like that. So
let them know the history of it, because I know like there's different building structures in every single different African country. There's different foods, there's different languages. Like, first, before we visit Africa, let's educate the people from there who don't know Africa like that. Know the history of it. Know where you come from, what it's linked to. Because majority of Africans, like everyone's mixed in Africa. Like so many tribes are from different countries put together.
Because we got at least 52 languages.
Exactly, and all of them are. Some of the languages are connected to other countries. So it just needs to be educated. Every black person just needs to be educated.
You know, when you say that, when you said something, I really felt very embarrassed. I've never been to Elamina Castle before. When I go to Ghana, I actually go through the restaurants. I actually, I go to the beaches. And this year, there's one thing that Ghana did do. That is a homecoming thing that...
the year of the return.
The year of the return.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the most brilliant, one of the most brilliant projects that they've done, because I realized that most of the youth, you go there, you enjoy, and this year, I was supposed to go with my family, but because of us losing my niece this year, so we'll probably have to move it to next year. But the funny thing is, that was one of the things that I felt. It's like most of the youth that went, go there, it's like they save up their monies just for the end of the year to go to Africa. There are loads of Caribbean people that have settled. There are loads of American people that actually went there. And they're actually enjoying it because they're actually experiencing Africa in the light of positivity. And when you look back, that's why I keep saying, I'm going to continue always saying this, that I appreciate you youths appreciating Africa. And now you're not just doing the normal aspect. Okay, you're not just doing the normal aspect of you being a young black person. But it's more to do with you appreciating your heritage. And promoting it.
Just even going back to what you said earlier about our body types, I think it's a thing of when you're growing as well that you realize actually you appreciate it. Because when you're young, like you were saying, you want to fit into the box of the Europeans that are here, whereas now you're like, actually, I love my shape. Look at that curve. Look at that dimple. This is so nice. And then even if you look at cultural appropriation with the Kim Kardashians and everything, that's what they're copying. Getting big lips, getting big bums,
marrying black men.
All of this.
Okay. Okay. This morning I was watching a program, and the highlight of the program was about her business, and it was a program about black entrepreneurs. Yes. When you guys look at yourselves in the future, what business do you actually look at, or how do you see yourself being a role model business-wise to your black females in the youth? It's kind of like, what are you? Is it what? Because I'm actually listening to you, and you're being very intellectual. You're reading, about your history. You're appreciating who you are. Now, when you to be a business, to be an entrepreneur, how would you do that?
For me, everything's about empowerment and empowering the people, leaving everyone empowered. So whether it's a conversation, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, I like giving people that confidence, or allowing people to see their greatness within themselves. And that's what I did. I am a personal performance coach, because that's what you do. You dig out the best in that person, because everyone is a diamond. Just at the beginning, you're rough. You know, you need to be polished, you need to be washed, you need to be cut into a 5, 6, 7, 8 carat. So yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to that. What's your take on that?
I just feel like everybody just needs a little bit of a push,
Yes.
a little bit of encouragement, especially if you come from like disadvantaged backgrounds. Everyone has got potential. It's just that we need to find what you are good at. If you don't want a 9 to 5 and you want to start a business, what are you good at? Look into yourself. A lot of people don't pick and mix and go into different sectors to see what they like. They just usually follow the narrative, and it ends up doesn't work for them. They go back to their 9 to 5 and that's it. They just tried. For example, I know a lot of black females, this is what we're talking about, they're mostly into hair or nails, or what else are they into? Makeup, yeah, but like they don't broaden themselves. And whenever I see black women on TV who are in IT, women in science, it's very empowering, because a lot of women don't want to go there because of how long it takes a person to get there. They just like, a lot of people like to take a shortcut, and it doesn't work for them most of the time. But people just need to take their time and know themselves and know what your talents are, and even get help, or sometimes even funding. Sometimes people don't get the money that they want to start a business, so they just give up, because a lot of black people are not born with inheritance. They don't have family after their parents die or after their grandparents die. So doing it all by yourself can take 50 years, 60 years, and it's like, your life is gone. You should have just done the 9 to 5. And yeah, it's quite sad and good at the same time.
But you know, when you were talking about you being a life, what did you
A
say?
life coach.
A life coach.
Yeah, person.
Is it, how does it differ? Because you've got different, you choose who comes there, but who are the people that excel when you are actually doing that?
When I'm coaching,
Yeah.
sad to say, it's the Caucasians that excel. They're the ones that are on time. They're the ones that come to the appointments. They're the ones that, when you set their goal with them, they will do the action steps. They'll come back sometimes and be like, you know what, I wanted to do this, but I did this instead. They're very proactive. They're engaged. They understand and internalize that this is for me. I'm just here to facilitate their growth. Whereas our people will either call up 5 minutes before the appointment. Oh, sorry, I can't make it today. Minimum out, like there's a minimum of 48 hours cancellation.
Yes.
They don't respect that. They don't respect the time. Sometimes the action plans they set themselves, they don't fulfill it, and it's something that they set themselves. It's not me giving it to them. It's like them saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to progress me towards my goal, but they don't do it. So even that within itself is really sad to see, and to a point where I was like, do I really want to be working with these clients again? So I had to let some go. Some of them I was like, sorry, this is not going to be working. The last 3 sessions you cancelled last minute, and it's sad. It's sad because first of all, we don't actually accept the fact that we need to go and ask for professional help, or there's professionals out there that can help and advance us. For example, me, I'm into fitness, so I love swimming. So I used to swim by myself and used to time and push myself, but then I got to a point where I realized I need a swimming coach, because there's only so far I can get by myself. Once I got the swimming coach, I elevated, I progressed in tremendously. But most people don't see that you need people to support you. Need a support group.
Yeah, and with what you said, especially with black people, I feel like sometimes we need to take our time with black people. Because it's like a generational thing, and it needs to they need to take their time and actually know that they need help. Know that this can change your life and your children's life. That's why, like, for example, my mum in her business, like she actually
her business is based.
Like become a successful entrepreneur. But it's like with black people, what I've realized is like they are talented. Like every single one of us are talented. Like we can draw, we can sing, we can do anything.
We can dance.
But it's like some people don't know it. They don't know that. They feel like they're wasting your time, but they feel like they're fooling you. But they're not fooling you, they're fooling themselves in the long run. And it's like they don't see that. They just, sometimes a lot of black people live a life of regret. Like they'll be on a deathbed and say, I wish I'd done this.
But don't you think our complacency and us feeling as though it always has to be handed to us. It's become, because I know sometimes when people turn around and say, oh, we are mentally enslaved, all those stuff. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
There are certain aspects that believe that you can get away with it. But there are certain things that are done. Because, for instance, as you've just said, you've actually set goals for yourself. You are not the one that's even told the person to set that goal. So that person knows, because if I'm somewhere, I know what I want. So if I've set that goal and I'm not fulfilling it, can I blame somebody?
No, it's accountability, and I think that's, as Africans and blacks, that's what we lack, accountability. Most of the time it's like, oh, I didn't achieve because of her, the government, this. No, it's you. At the end of the
but
day,
sometimes the government is against us.
No.
I'm not even trying to give excuses to black people.
Okay.
But black people are the only people on earth who have generational curses and confusion, and it needs to be. It's true. Like, it needs to be unwinding slowly. Like, for us to know our full potential. Honestly, I know, like, black people, a lot of things have been against us.
Yeah, but then even with that, I feel like it's an excuse, because at the end of the day, what your mind perceives is what it achieves.
White people will stop us.
No, if you tell yourself white people will stop you, trust me, they will stop you. But if I know that no one can stop me because I have my ancestors walking with me, I have people opening the gates for me, I will achieve what I want to achieve. Even if it sounds so outlandish and no one thinks that it will be possible, I will achieve it.
I hope you do. This is the mindset we need to have, but it's like, if you have to look at a different point of view, white people will do what they can to stop.
No, but when you say that, what is it? The reason why I don't prescribe to that is, when I wake up in the morning, the only person that will stop me coming out of the door is me. If I wake up, if I know I need to go to work, I need to look for work, I know I need to do this, the only person that will stop me is me. Do you understand? There were times that black people were not allowed to read, were not allowed to go to school. Black people, even them seeing you having a pencil, you would get beaten or get killed or be hanged. Now we don't have that choice. So I do appreciate what you're saying. That okay, when you're in a job place and you want to excel, you cannot get to a certain point because they keep you there. That is the reason why I choose that when you set up your own business, you are the master of your destiny. You see?
No, I get that to an extent, but the reason why I say that is because money is money can open doors for you. Money can do a lot of things for you. And then one of the most outrageous things that white people did to black people was stop them from buying houses. If you can't buy a house, you're going to be renting for a long time and wanting to buy a house. Your mindset is not there. You don't want to start a business because number one, it's scary. Number two, it can fail. You need regular income and you have to have your 9 to 5.
Just to touch on what you're saying.
Yes.
The way if you're trying to fit into a system that was not created for you, yes, you are right. You will be stopped. But if you don't care about the system or fitting into that system, it's not going to affect you. God willing, you will get that house. It might be you walking down the street because your ancestors are with you. You pick out some numbers, before you know it, you hit the jackpot. You've got 10 million in your account. You can get that. But it's the faith and the belief that you have within yourself that makes the difference, and not really looking at the collective, because you can't bring everyone with you. When you're going up, you can't bring everyone with you. So if you focus on yourself and you do the character building on yourself, and then you can like shine your light, and then it reflects or it bounces off people, or people can pick up some kind of glimpse and hope of it, then that's great. But you're here to be your best version. You're not here to be everybody's best version.
No. But then looking at like black youths on social media, they don't invest. They don't have businesses. They don't help other people. So black people only care about materialistic things. That's why we can't prosper. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everyone wants to get quick money. And that's not what we should do. We should look at the Chinese, look at the white people. They invest in so many businesses before they start living a lavish lifestyle. But we don't do that. This is why black people are known to have immediate gratification, because that's all we know. That's what I'm saying. We need to take our time with our black people, let them know to invest in stocks, let them know to invest in real estate so they can have income for their generations to come.
Just to touch on that.
Okay.
Not everyone's born a leader, let's be honest.
No, it's true.
Because you're making it sound like I respect what you're saying, but you're making it sound like everyone needs to be a leader, everyone needs.
No,
But why can you not be?
Not everyone is a leader. Same way, not everyone is a creator. You need to have a creator and you need to have consumers. You need to have a leader.
It's each to your own on how they want to get money, but it's like you'll be smarter to invest.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is not everyone can be a leader. You're trying to bring everyone on the leader level. Not everyone can be that.
I feel like it's possible.
But look at the balance of life. If everyone was a creator of a business, who's going to buy the
But that's the point.
That's very true. No, I understand that, but it's like for black people who are not even some of them don't even want to go in the creative side, but some of them don't even want to be leaders. But at least we can push the majority up there.
But even if the majority is a leader, who is going to follow? You need maybe a pocket size of good leaders, strong leaders, and they will lead and everyone will follow. That is what it is. So obviously we need to focus on the leaders that will push the narrative. Because if we've got leaders that talking about drinking, popping bottles and all of this,
but then all of black people's leaders right now are the rappers.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Okay, a lot of people in my youth, that's what they see.
A few years back, I could say
yes.
But
this is in 2020.
No.
Who's our leader?
Like, you've got leaders in artists and in music. You've got leaders in, like, even if you look at
if you look at Oprah is one of them. When you look at I'm a leader. Is it that you guys are leaders because you are able to see that what is out there is not what you want. You see, I want to. That's not even a lot of people. I've got a question for you guys. Yeah? There's I've got my sister Winnie.
Okay.
She's saying that. And I've got my sister Winnie that is saying that empowering the youth through education and being proud of their rich heritage is the key, which you guys have actually said. We've got somebody called Sikaba Natural or something. He said the future of Ghana is for the youth like you. And what plan did you have to help the black youth sort of like back home? Because it's like when you go, you guys have got all these unique ideas. Do you understand me? You got all these unique ideas. And you need to be able to disseminate it to them. Yeah. Do you understand me? So when you're talking about leadership, yes, you want to do psychology and you want to break down those barriers that are hindering, like, probably today I spoke to you and I got so much from you. And you're my niece. Do you understand me? With you've spoken, and trust me, I want to pick up a book, which I hate reading. Yeah. So my thing is, as you said, being a leader, it's not everybody that can be a leader. You can get followers, but you need to empower those followers. Yeah. Do you understand me? Yeah. And the thing is, when you look at it now, how does the future look to you guys?
For me personally, it looks bright.
Yeah, I agree.
That we are seeing a different construct. We're even seeing the way people are doing music differently. Like Sarkodie on business. He's building schools for the less fortunate.
You got Akon. Yes.
So the narrative
is changing.
It's true.
Because
I like how they break social construct.
When there's an award show that's called Black Girl Rocks, and this is a black. You understand me? It's like I look at, we've got leaders. The funny thing is the fact that we do not get it in the mainstream. When you watch BET, there are loads of leaders. There are people that they're fighting for Africa. Yeah. The thing is, you guys are the youth. You guys can do more. The future is in your hands. That's why I'm sitting here today. I'm not sitting here. I cannot impose my ideas on you. You guys are telling us. That's why I keep telling people that watch this show. Understand your children. Give them the support and the empowerment. Because we don't seem to know it all. We as grown-ups, as you say, some of us parents, we've sat down and we think, oh, we've made mistakes. But one of the things that with me, I want to ask you is, during the time of the corona pandemic, it actually highlighted the different classes. Okay. And the upper class people really enjoyed themselves. Cool. But the middle class and the working class, with the middle class and the lower class, okay, you could see that there wasn't that much of a difference. Because you could see that the moment they lost their job, they didn't have any savings. They didn't have anything. How did you see that from your end?
Exactly like you said, the upper class, they were like, you know what, I can take out a year, cushion. Like
a lot of them flown out. They're not even back yet.
They're enjoying themselves. Yeah. Middle class is the new lower class, is what I would say, just because they have a bigger paycheck, yes,
Yeah.
but they're still living to paycheck to paycheck.
It's
Even
true.
with businesses, you saw it. Like, I live in Cambridge, so obviously you've got little towns and stuff. So I was seeing these little shops, you know, you're thinking they're doing well
Yeah.
because every time you're seeing people in there. But as soon as Corona came, the way they shut down, and
Yeah.
then when things picked up again, they closed. Because even though they're businesses, they were living paycheck to paycheck. It might be like, their check might be 100K a month, but still paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So it's that paycheck to paycheck culture that you saw that can no longer exist, and you can't
Yeah.
just have one source of income.
Yeah.
That's definitely you need.
And we
to
never
have
expected a corona to come. So
Didn't.
this is where the great divide has actually accentuated itself.
Yeah.
So how did you sort of like...
On social media, because I was looking at this a lot of people were noting down their experiences. Some of them said they were lucky to even have saved 3 months of rent in advance. Some of them were lucky to have spare change to help their kids, to help fund their lifestyle. But it's true with what you said, small businesses really got hit hard with this pandemic. And I felt kind of sorry for them. And even looking at my mum, she was working from home, so lucky.
But
lucky
she's
to
a
her.
teacher, yes.
Exactly. And she was, even though her business was also striving as well.
And your mom is organized. That's one thing I know.
Exactly.
In our family, her mom is one of those people that I ain't even gonna lie. You know, when we do things like tomorrow, she does a year ahead of time.
Because she's got the planner.
Yeah, she gets her diary ahead of time. I bet she's ordered a diary, innit?
She has.
There you go.
And it kind of like, but
Uh-huh.
like watching her still work from home and on base becoming a successful entrepreneur, she was
Yes,
still
yes.
getting calls, and I was even picking them up. And it's
Yes.
like, people now want to start their businesses so they get covered for the next pandemic if it happens. Because a lot of people lost their jobs, which was very sad to see,
That's
because
it.
Corona came out of nowhere.
Yes.
And I hope this doesn't happen again. And I hope people
The thing
are
is, I don't know
prepared.
whether we're out of it yet.
Honey,
so,
it's not going to
You
go
see-
completely until 2024 or 2025.
wow. You see, and yes, go on.
Just to say something, you know, like right before Corona, we had Brexit, right?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Brexit!" Just the thought. Corona would be a great cover up for Brexit, though, because no one is really thinking about Brexit anymore.
It's true.
That's it.
You just blame it on Corona. You're like, "Oh yes, Corona." when in fact it was actually Brexit.
Yeah, which is true, because the highlight of us, like the highlight was, we're going to come out of Brexit. How is Britain
Yeah,
going to do?
the promises that
the
they gave
promises
to us,
they gave
yeah.
us, you know, and all that stuff. And then now it's like we're just trying to stay alive.
Honestly, we're honestly trying to stay alive. Honestly.
Is it? We are literally trying to stay alive, and sometimes it surprises me how, when something of this nature happens,
Yeah.
it gives you that sense of invincibility that we seem to think we have, that we
Yeah.
don't have.
Yeah.
Because as I said, people have lost their jobs, families have families have, you know, split apart,
Yeah.
monies have been so tight, people have
People
lost
died.
people have died. We have
Yeah.
lost several
On
people.
the
Yeah.
flip side, there's
Yes.
a lot of people that started businesses
Exactly.
and have thrived, like dropping food to people's houses.
Yeah.
A lot. I know friends that were like, for example, bus drivers, and now they're cooking out of their homes. And
Yes,
Making
yes,
food.
yes.
Even for me, I started trading throughout this pandemic.
I'm talking about your trade. You're
I
talking
would
about
have
your
been
trade.
in uni, but I took the time to learn how to trade, learning a new skill. Like, everyone actually needs to learn a new skill that can benefit them in the future.
So how is your trading going?
I've been learning for 3 months now because I have a mentor, and it's going really great. Like, even though trading is a long process, but I can see the end goal. I've been making profit, and it's doing well. Everyone needs to have
And
a
that
skill.
is your side hustle, isn't it?
Exactly. I would not have done this if it wasn't for the pandemic. Like, it's a blessing in disguise, minus the people dying.
You see, and what you're saying is absolutely true.
Honestly.
Because that's what I'm saying. That I'm looking at I'm going to always commend you guys that growing up, our parents didn't give us the platform to exuberate our intelligence, because sometimes you said something and they go, "Oh, you think you know too much,"
Yeah.
and it's like, "Oh, we know better than you."
Yeah.
Today we even spoke about your brother,
Yeah.
that when he was in UK, he was so intelligent. Okay, Jamie is so intelligent that he was not being challenged, and because he wasn't being challenged, what do? They'll tell you, "Oh, you're a troublemaker." And now he's gone to Ghana and he is doing brilliantly.
Getting all A's.
He's getting A's.
Yeah.
Whereas here, he would have been labeled. And the thing is, in our
Yeah.
family, and as a black youth, boy, you are stigmatized.
100%.
You are stigmatized. And it's like, we sit back and we don't appreciate. That's why I keep saying that with black people, we don't appreciate our gifts.
Yeah.
We don't appreciate our gifts. We are, and I think because of our gifts, that's what makes the Caucasian a bit scared of us. And I'm not saying in a
I feel like
scared
they
in a
want us to
negative.
hinder us so we don't know our gifts and talents.
It's like we know our gifts, but they put us in a box.
Yes.
Whereby we don't accentuate that, because if you look good and I saw you look good, you're going to feel, oh yeah, look
Yeah.
good. But if I say, oh look at what she's wearing, all of a sudden you're going to feel, oh God,
We're gonna feel small.
that's it.
But only if you don't know who you are.
It's
If you
true.
know who you are, man, you can try and throw shade, but
Yes.
you won't hit me because
Yes.
100%. I feel like we also need to be confident in ourselves to not let anyone talk down on us as black people.
Okay, so a question I'm going to ask is, do you have the ability to get up, crush your goals, and then be able to fulfill your life objectives?
Yes.
Yes.
And how would you do that?
In all honesty, like a mum does planner, like I time my days. When I want to do something,
How
I
old
get
are
you. 27 now.
Wow, you look, you know, I
So
thought,
young.
no, you look so, no, seriously.
Thank
seriously,
you. Like good G's. I always say I'm gonna be 50.
There's a
looking
black
like
don't
21.
crack, innit?
Yeah, so I literally, and this is something that I've done from young age. I
Yes.
always like writing and
You're
highlighting.
organized.
Yeah.
So when I know I need to do something, that's why I get a sheet, write out the date, write out the time, and then just stick to it.
Yeah.
Whoa,
And then
Yeah.
really? I need
It
to-
eases my mind because I'm an
You do that as well?
Yeah, I picked it up from my mum, so I'm very now much into the planner, like ever since secondary school.
Okay.
I feel like because I'm such an overthinker,
Yes.
and I plan my life every second, every minute of the day, having a planner and writing my life goals on a sheet of paper, know that I can hit them.
Yes.
And I've got a 10-year plan, so trying to stick with that. And
Yeah, you're
dedication,
young, so
because-
you're allowed to have that 10-year plan. yes.
Because
yes.
one thing that I had to tell people was that a lot of people, for example, want to do something when they get to 28 or they want to reach a goal. Work towards it, because if anything, you're going to be 28 anyway. You're going to be 30 anyway. You're going to be 40 anyway. So I'd rather be at that age and I've accomplished something and I'm doing something instead of wishing, if I done this when I was 20, right now that I'm 30, I would have been here by now. I don't want to do that. And that's a lot of people like myself's mentality. And I know some of them will be stuck in that mindset, because remember I was speaking to you about psychiatry.
Yes,
And I was
yes.
like, I'll get a job when I'm in my early 30s. But it's like, what else would I be doing?
That's
I'd
it.
rather be doing that at that age instead
Which
of
is
wasting
true.
my life trying to go
Which is true.
another way that I didn't enjoy,
Which
and I
is
wasted
true.
all my years.
No, which is true, and it's good that you're saying it to your younger counterparts, or like your own counterparts,
Yeah.
because sometimes we look at age, as you say,
Exactly.
regardless,
We're going to be
you're
that
still
age.
going to be that age,
We still do something.
even though some of us deny it implicitly. But it's true.
We're gonna be
It's
that age.
good that you follow the path that you want to follow. So how do we raise entrepreneurs? Because you gave an example about these 3 boys that they bought a property.
Yeah.
Give us that.
So basically, they're 3 brothers. They put a property together, built it up, fixed it up, and then decided they were going to sell it. So they started doing raffle tickets. But the clever thing that they did, they knew
That's
how to
innovation.
It's innovation, because
like the £1 tickets.
Yeah, because people are not buying lottery tickets anymore, not as much. And at the beginning of Corona, you weren't even allowed to do
go out,
scratch
yes.
and everything,
Oh,
just
okay.
lottery. So now you're buying £2, you're winning a £300,000 house. Already everything paid for. All you have to do is tax every year. So for you as a player, it's enticing, because if you don't win, okay, you lose £2. But if you win, you
win a house.
You win a
Yes.
house. So a lot of people actually entered, and they ended up making $1 million.
Yeah.
So they invested 300,000 or probably less than that,
Yes.
and they made back $1 million. And
Wow.
now they're taking that money and doing it again.
Yeah.
But the good thing about them is they had good coverage. They
Yes.
were in Metro, I think,
I
and
saw
they
it
were
all
in
over Twitter as well.
Evening Standard and everywhere. So the marketing helped, and this is what you were saying earlier, that we
Yes.
need to learn how to market ourselves. properly.
Just say, because and the reason why I say we need to learn, because we've got so much stuff in Africa. When you look at shea butter, when you look at cocoa, and when I say shea butter, it always blows my mind that you can go to Ghana, buy a bucket full of shea butter for £5, yeah, and then you go to L'Occitane, they're a company that they sell shea butter. and it's like the shape of a shoe polish, and that's 20 quid. Yes, no, it's true. If you guys Google it. And I remember toothpaste. I remember my dad used to use charcoal and the chewing stick to brush his teeth. Now, you get toothpaste and it's got charcoal in it. We have always been trendsetters, but we've never followed it through. How do you think that you guys can actually take that? Even recently, I saw, that support thing.
Oh my God, yes. But at least it was a black person that has packaged it up, but still, that's still wrong.
And then there's a sponge.
Okay.
You know that net sponge?
Yeah. They manufactured it into like
Different
new
colours,
exfoliator sponge that can help your skin, help your. I'm feeling like Ghanaians have been using this since the dawn of time.
That's it.
We've been exfoliating our skin for the longest, but the way he's like promoted it to African Americans is like a new invention. And I was like, well, I had to search, is this man from Ghana? If not, all the Ghanaians should come for him. But thankfully he is.
You know the last time I looked at the broom that we used to see.
Oh yeah.
No.
And I saw it for, is it 100 and something? I remember somebody sent it to me, and I'm looking at it. They said broom.
Really?
And I'm looking at this broom is less than £1.
Wow.
Why do you think we are not able to promote our products?
I feel like it's because why do we need to? I feel like in the mindset of like an African, like a normal African, is like, why would I need to? Like,
Because everyone has that.
Everyone has it. It's
that in
been
your
here.
house. But at the same time, it's marketing.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, that shea butter, you take that shea butter, you add some stuff to it, make it
They
smell
don't even
lovely.
add anything to it. That's what I'm saying.
It's just
No lavender, nothing. It's natural shea butter. I said, we know when you finish.
They're fooling us, and it's going to be Africans who's going to buy it.
It's like, yeah, shea butter is sweet. But then this is the thing, it's about marketing.
Yeah.
Because essentially, if it's packaged nicely, it looks presentable, yes, you can add a £20 label onto it and people will buy it. And then you're like, shea butter helps with stretch marks, helps with this, glowy skin, acne, blah, blah, blah. People will buy it. Because essentially, everything about marketing is you have to solve a problem. If you're not solving a problem, then you're going to have
But then what's
it's going to
the
be hard.
problem? Because if you know it comes from Africa, why don't you book a plane ticket? Go to
That's
Africa.
expensive for certain people. Imagine someone that's born here, has no ties to Africa, but they have acne and stretch marks, and they're trying to fix that quick. So they're not going to buy a plane ticket and go to Africa because they don't know about it.
No, but you have family in Africa.
No,
that
but the
you can
people
send
who
it
don't.
to.
No, they have friends who
But
come from Africa.
I'm saying like these are the people that are disconnected. So now you are somebody that was using Garnier on your body. I'm sorry. The one thing I cannot trust people that use lotion. Like if you're African and you're using like Nivea on your skin or Garnier or something else, I can't trust you. Like I really can't trust you because you don't know your skin. Like how can you put like Garnier and then you're like,
oh, you've actually made the point.
It makes you drying.
No, but you know when you say that, do you know what point you've actually made? It's like going into an Indian person's shop to buy black products, and you guys take it from there.
But do you know what's upsetting? It's because they have set themselves up already. So even if you're trying to find a black-owned hair product or hair shop, it's hard. You find 1 out of 50 is black-owned. And then as we were saying earlier, the customer service.
The customer service.
Customer service.
Yeah, customer care is like, yep, either we don't have it, okay. And then the Indian guy will be like, yes, darling, yes, ma'am,
He'll even
yes,
say
ma'am.
he'll order it for you, so
You know
come
what?
next time.
Come
Yes.
Tuesday
Yes,
new delivery.
yes.
You know?
I don't know.
Is it no? But is it when they talk about customer care too? We have this complacency. Remember, I was saying something to you today that when I go into a shop, I've worked hard for my money.
Yeah.
I've worked hard. So when I come into your shop and I'm talking to you and you're acting blasé, you're acting complacent, you're acting disrespectful, I'm trying to buy because today you bought some food. Talk about your food, my dear.
So basically, earlier I bought plantain, and this is a
Fried
portion,
plantain, yes.
a portion of fried plantain, and the box, I kid you not, was like this, and it had 5 pieces in it, and it was £5.
Small pieces.
And it wasn't like the big chunky pieces. It was literally the sliced, small pieces. And then when the woman gave it to me, I was like, "Is this the portion?" She's like, "Yeah."
You
and
asked
then,
her that?
Yeah, and then I was like, "You know what? Yeah." And I was like, "Let me get another portion." Then I was like, "No, actually, I'm not even gonna do that. How can you give 5 pieces for 150? that you get free plantains for 150.
Yes.
I told you it's for the profit.
Yeah, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, like, so it's like 25p. It's more than 25p per piece.
And what was so sad was, if you decided that you weren't going to take it, her body language would be
Exactly.
you see, and this is what I'm saying, that if I have paid money to come into your shop, I expect you to respect me, because as I'm sitting here, you guys are younger than me, but I'm not going to disrespect you, because if I disrespect you, you're going to do that right back at me. Our businesses, I feel that they should try, if you are in the Western world, copy what the other, because you know we were talking about the Chinese. Okay.
Imitate.
I did tourism in my degree. Yes. And I remember was in one of the airlines, Malaysian Airlines. And I remember there's some of them that if you sat beside a Chinese person, he would get up and say, "Can you change my seat?" Really? So when this Chinese thing happened, I wasn't surprised. The point that I'm making is, if we sit there and we treat each other badly, how can we complain? You see, as much as my dear niece is saying that we should be patient, I cannot. There's certain things, if I go into a shop and you don't have an item, I expect you to say, as you say, "Oh, come back next week," or "I'll try and get it for you." "Oh, I'm sorry that it's so expensive." I expect your demeanor to be apologetic and respectful. If you are not, I'm out the door, and where do I go? The next Chinese shop, I'm in there.
Exactly. And then even as you're saying, alternatives. The one thing, even though I said I loved Ghana, the one thing that was never like unforgettable was the service in restaurants.
Yes.
Because obviously I'm a vegan, so there's only certain foods that I can eat. But in Africa, it's so easy to be a vegan because there's fruit, vegetables, and everything. So every time we go to a restaurant, sometimes, "Sorry, we do not have it again." And then that's it. They don't give you an offering, any alternative.
They don't give you any alternative, any options.
And then you pick something else. They go, disappear for 30 minutes, come back. "Sorry, we do not have it again." And you're like, I've been sitting here for an hour now, and everything you don't have. And then it's like, what do you have? You know what I mean? And then essentially, what you're talking about taking your money there is because you are giving them your energy. That money, you gave energy to get that money. So now you're going to a place to give your energy, and if it's not respected or reciprocated, you're going to take it elsewhere.
Precisely.
100%.
So yes, now you guys coming, you guys growing up. Is it, we have to make it very quick. We're going to finish soon. It's just I can't believe the time is even gone. I can't believe the time has gone so quick. You see, in the future, as I know you guys are going to be great business. I know you guys, your future is going to be fantastic. What advice do you actually have for your peers and the younger ones behind you?
Believe in yourself. That's the one thing I would say. No matter what, it doesn't matter what somebody placed on you or what somebody thinks of you. Believe in yourself and know that you can ask for help. You can have mentors, like physical mentors, like you were saying, you have a mentor in trading. You can have mentors like the people that have passed, like through the books and narratives. Just ask for the help. You'll be surprised. People are willing to show you how they have done it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you?
I feel like, in addition to that, I feel like just plan what you want to do with your life, because a lot of people just don't have the idea. They're just strolling through life until they die. Plan, like make a mind map, have a vision board of what you want to see in yourself in a couple years time, and manifest. You know how we do our meditating? Manifest it. Even if you have no idea, there's something there.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, we you know, I really want black people, the young, to appreciate that there's help out there in terms of if you want to be an entrepreneur. Like the organization called Base. It's been set up by Jackie Obeng. I always keep saying, I know every time I say this, she keeps around telling me she's a master's graduate, she's a teacher, she's somebody that is intellectually, she was born here, she was taken back, she was sort of like, she's been in the education system. So every experience that she's gathered is backed up by knowledge and experience. You understand me? And I want you guys to capitalize on it. One of the things that I know my producer Joe and Dan Sua, I always keep saying that I thank them immensely for giving us the platform for you youth to be able to have a voice, because our community does not give you guys a voice. It actually shuts you down. And I want to thank my producer Joe and my lovely Dan Sua And then when I say it, they're just trying to hide. You know, I'm supposed to pat yourselves on the back. You're doing something immensely great for your community. And thank you so much for everybody watching. And please like my page and share it so that it goes further.